Hey, what up everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you this morning. Talk of the town is that tomorrow we are finally going to get the announcement that the fabulous Freebirds are going to be going into the WWE Hall of Fame in Dallas at Wrestlemania 32. Easily, in my mind, there's a lot of names out there that are not in the WWE Hall of Fame, and one of the biggest ones finally got put in last year with Macho Man Randy Savage. But in my mind, I've been looking for the Freebirds to get put into the Hall of Fame, honestly, for a long time. I don't know if it's because, Michael P.S. Hayes, Doc Hendricks, as I like to call him, as one of the lead writers for WWE, you would think that everything for WrestleMania would be, all taken care of the night before WrestleMania. But maybe the fact is that, they're just too busy to put him in the Hall of Fame because of how much stuff he's got going on. But every year I've been to the Hall of Fame, Doc Hendricks has come out and he's made a huge entrance because he likes to wear, the flashy clothes that were popular in the 80s, but he's still wearing them today. I mean, you can look down in the crowd where the wrestlers sit at the front of the Hall of Fame and you can find P.S. Hayes instantly. He is very easy to find, and they always love putting the camera on him every time they're shooting anything for the Hall of Fame, because of how he stands out against everybody else. But, there's been a lot of talk about the Freebirds going into the Hall of Fame this year. There was a rumor out there that Stone Cold Steve Austin was going to, I guess you can say, boycott or skip WrestleMania if the Freebirds weren't put in there. The Freebirds are one of the most popular factions, groups, tag teams, whatever you want to call them, from back in the day. They made tons of money working for Mid-South. They made tons of money working for the Von Erichs in World Class Championship Wrestling. I think that they really, changed the game of tag team wrestling by having a three-man group and, sort of being able to work two towns as one. You would sort of send one guy to one town as a singles wrestler, then you would send one guy to another. You'd send two guys to another town as the tag team, and it would be good enough to put them over as the Freebirds, and you'd be able to still make a big payday, as well as having a three-man group to work about around the Von Erichs, which is probably where they got the most steam, was working for Dallas and World Class Championship Wrestling, even though they sort of banded their group together while working in Mid-South around New Orleans. And that was one of the big mysteries why they didn't go in at WrestleMania 30. And they would have added a lot to an already really stacked class. I don't know who I would have taken out to put in there, but maybe it wasn't the best idea for Roberts and Hall to both go into the Hall of Fame in the same year, being, Team DDP Yoga and all that. But honestly, in my mind, Michael P.S. Hayes is not one of the best wrestlers of all time, but he is one of the most entertaining. He brought music to wrestling, and they were one of the first teams to ever come out when they would come out to Freebird. They brought a lot to it. He was really flamboyant. Buddy Roberts, in my mind, he was sort of Buddy Roberts was sort of the lackey of the group, the guy that always sort of got beat up. So you get heat on the Freebirds, and then, of course, Gordy or P.S. Hayes would come in and make the save. Terry Gordy, to me, really awesome. This guy was a big, huge brute. And he could really get down, and he was the real wrestler of the group. Terry Gordy, of course, would come to WWF during the In Your House era, and he would be the executioner. He'd have a feud against The Undertaker for about 2 weeks, and then he was gone and never seen again because they figured out that Gordy just couldn't work anymore. He just wasn't what he once was. I don't know if it was P.S. Hayes that got him the job. But, Buddy Roberts had a really big angle one time. I think he was just as a single. I don't think he was part of the Freebirds yet. But Buddy Roberts wrestled a match where it was hair versus hair. And he was the guy who lost his hair. And then from there, he didn't want to admit it. So he would wear wigs to the ring. He would, wear the wrestling, I don't know what you call the thing, the helmet, I guess is what it is, or something like that goes over your head. And all sorts of things like that. But, I've been watching a lot of the Freebirds, getting ready to go to Dallas and visit the home of where the Sportatorium once stood. And this is going to be a really, really fun trip. and the Freebirds going into the Hall of Fame, even though I'm not going to be there, is going to be one exclamation point. I know that Michael P.S. Hayes is going to deliver one hell of a Hall of Fame speech that a lot of people are going to remember. I'm not sure if Jimmy Garvin will be put in there. Jimmy Garvin, when they were in World Class Championship Wrestling, was always sort of like a cousin to the Freebird. He was always sort of involved in their feuds when he had Sunshine and Precious and a lot of things like that. But you know, when they went to WCW, they teamed up Michael P.S. Hayes and Jimmy Garvin as the Freebirds, and there's probably a lot of people out there that's who they know the Freebirds as. So with Buddy Roberts and Terry Gordy both being gone, and they've been gone for a while, I don't know if they want Michael P.S. Hayes up there, you know, as himself, or if they're going to have Jimmy Garvin there to sort of have like a two-man speech. But I know that Michael P.S. Hayes is going to knock it out of the park.